Hello, Internet, and welcome to Saturday night's Mistborn. Thank you for joining us this lovely Saturday afternoon, evening, whatever time it might be for you. We're here to play some more of the Mistborn RPG based on the novels by Brandon Sanderson. And we've got a lot going on today in the middle of a ball. I'm going to recap all that in a minute, but if you haven't joined us for any of our show up until now, we'll do our best to bring you in. But there's a couple of episodes you can catch up on over on our YouTube. Speaking of which, our full lineup of shows. We got lots of stuff going on this channel. Our next stream after this one will be tomorrow. That's Sunday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Savannah runs a game there called Thursday's Children. We play a game called Vesen, where we're Scandinavian monster hunters in 18th century. Is that right? 18th century Europe, and it's super fun. And we just fought some fairies and some treeple. So come hang out with us for that. Tomorrow, there may be werewolves involved. The rest of our lineup
but
for
that's not my
this...
doing.
Listen, everybody makes mistakes and injects themselves with strangers' blood every now and then. The rest of our lineup for this week should be normal, with streams on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll let my players here introduce themselves and talk about any streams that they're involved in and fun stuff that they are up to and who they're playing here tonight. Oh boy, I need to remember the order for this, starting with Savannah, I believe.
It's me. Hello. I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule pinned to the top of my page. I'm here Thursdays through Sundays, either playing in games or running them. Like Thou said, I run our Vesen game on Sundays, and you can also find me Sunday nights on twitch.tv/LBHack'emUp. Playing all sorts of games lately. We're gonna have a extra special fun episode tomorrow, so come hang out. But tonight I am playing Lady Violette Laurent, who is a Mistborn.
Next up is Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex, OMG It's Some Guy on the internets. You can mostly find me here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. May not see much of me next week because it'll be busy, but you'll also see me actually tomorrow night with Savvy on LB's channel for that new game. So yeah, go check that out. But for today's game, I am playing Hadzel, who is a keeper a terraceman steward who is a secret keeper who uses feruchemy.
RJ.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at RJS282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my pals. You can catch me on Mondays over at the Indoor Adventures channel, where we just kicked Zariel's butt and now we're heading into the Shadowfell, and it's gonna be a blast for my Shatterkai wizard who has never been there. It's fine. Wednesdays we're wrapping up a Domain of Dread over at Lantern New Wars. We're gonna free some people from a curse. That's gonna be great. Thursdays, Elegant Magics with some of these lovely folk. It's the final chapter, so come and check it out. It's what, like 5 episodes longer than our first season, or something like that. It's gonna be even longer.
Give me a second.
Get me the numbers, Alex.
Season 1 was 12 episodes. We just had Season 1, 12 episodes. Season 2, we just had episode 19. So we'll have at least 20.
So Netflix gave us an extended run for season 2. Finally, on Saturdays, it's gonna be Star Power. Can't wait to get back to that. Sundays over at the Hype Goblins in the AM, and then finally the Lady Dames in the PM, where my character died, so I'm rolling up a starry-eyed artificer who's part of the military. I'm gonna try and not transmute things. I'm not gonna make the full Metal Alchemist joke about chimeras. That's me.
Who are you playing here tonight, RJ?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm playing ZaKeer, who's a Conjure spy. I got into my shtick too hard.
Who is he?
so focused on all the other characters and completely disassociated from who he's playing tonight.
It happens. There's so many.
And Morgan, you're last up.
Hi, I am Morgan, and I'm here tonight playing Mouse, who is a misting, specifically a tin eye. And this is currently the only game I'm in, but I do sometimes do video game streams, and I've just started playing Night in the Woods, which is very fun. So I'll probably play that some more next week. That's it.
And I am Val at the Kraken's Crown on Twitter and Twitch. You can find me here Thursdays through Sundays playing and running games. We had our finale for Neon Souls Season 2 last night. Everyone lived, barely. They fought Mickey Mouse and killed Pluto. And now they've escaped into space.
Planet or the dog?
Watch it to find
Yes.
out. Because one of us was on the razor's edge of death last night.
It was pretty nuts. Yes, it did turn out to be a one-parter. But so we're going to be starting our next session, our next season of that this coming Friday, where we're going to be playing Fate instead and doing space pirate stuff. Should be a lot of fun. And then, like was already said, on alternating weeks from this game, I run a game called Saturday Night's Star Power, where we were playing Fate as well in a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure inspired universe. So if you really want to see the full diversity of what you can get through the Fate system, join us on Friday and Saturday of next week. That is all that I have tonight. I will be your narrator, and I'm ready to get going. Y'all ready? Okay. Let me change our music a little bit. It's a little too peaceful. Previously on Saturday night's Mistborn, your group has come together in a alliance of sorts to gain revenge, power, and whatever else motivates you through subverting the political system of Luthadel. Your first step of which is going to be attending a ball. You arrived at the Venture Keep, where the largest event of the season was being held. A magnificent meal and ball in the Venture Ballroom with some of the most notable and reputable people and disreputable people in the Final Empire. You began your kind of carousing amongst the attendees. Violette attending as herself, ZaKeer accompanying her as a cousin, or taking on the guise of a cousin from outside of the capital, and Sasha also. Wait, ZaKeer was not a cousin. Try to remember who you were.
ZaKeer is a
A
cousin.
friend.
He was a cousin.
I thought it was a friend.
I don't remember if we had two cousins, because Sasha was also a cousin. If we had
Sasha
two
was
cousins,
the
that's
cousin.
fine.
I said I was a friend from the country.
A friend from the country. Gotcha. That's what I'm making that distinction. I might have misspoke at some point during the last game. Yes, ZaKeer attending as a Lord Orlin Glim, a friend from the Final Empire countryside, and Sasha also attending as Sasha Velour, who would be a second cousin to Violette. I can't believe I okayed that name. Mouse and Hadzel attended as well, or are in attendance as well as the steward in Hadzel's case to Violette, and Mouse as the carriage driver. While all of you were escorted inside, Mouse donned the garb of a Venture household servant to carry out a secret mission that she was given by your friend or colleague Twist to steal a ledger from Lady Venture's study. The rest of you, Violette and ZaKeer, sat for the beginnings of drinks while the attendees still filed in. You made some friends, Simone, Lisa, and Ombre, three lords or three noble attendees to this ball. Gave you a bit of insight into what you would expect as your first ball that you've attended here in Luthadel. And gave you a bit of the lay of the land. We introduced a bunch of NPCs, who I'm not going to go through all in all, but some of the notable ones that you pointed out were the twin sons of Lady Josephine Venture, Oliver and Antony, one of which you seemed to catch Violette's eye, or both of which. The other was an obligator, who you immediately recognized as Cedric Hilariel, who you had met previously. The conversation began, Hadzel moving off to the servants' quarters to speak with the serving staff, overheard an exchange between the Venture terrace steward and an administrator for the Venture household. Following this administrator out of the room, you saw them enter their own study off of the, I think it was the eastern wing of the house. I don't remember exactly which direction I gave. One of the wings of the house, you saw them enter a study and made note of it for potential future skulking. Mouse went on a bit of an adventure of her own, getting captured by one of the, or not captured, but noticed by one of the head of the serving staff, was roped into some cooking and some meal serving duties, got to overhear some rumors and spread some of her own rumors as well. And the kind of conducted or were part of the serving as the dinner arrived. During the course of dinner, Violette made a bit of a scene, drawing attention to herself as she caused Mouse to spill some wine on to ZaKeer, who used this as an opportunity to leave the room temporarily. Your Karen antics drew down the attention of the Venture heads of the Venture house. As Oliver Venture arrived, you had a sort of brief conversation where he offered to dance with you, or you asked him to dance with you, I believe.
I suggested it.
You suggested it as compensation, and you agreed, adding that to your dance card, as well as a secret rendezvous with Cedric later in the evening. And while all of this was happening, where we left off last time was Mouse finally arriving at Lady Josephine's study, where she was able to find the ledger that Twist was looking for, and began to, in the candlelight in this darkened study, transcribe this ledger as quickly as she could into her own notes. And that's where we're going to pick up here tonight.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Isn't there a cat, too?
There is a cat.
There's like a random cat in the room.
The Conjure cat?
That people have theories about. But we'll see.
Sometimes the cat's just a cat, y'all.
Maybe.
Let me see. So, Mouse, you are transcribing this. I think we might do something, because this is going to take you a little bit of time to do this. So I may actually, unless there's something specific you want to do in this moment, because that's where we left off, other than just moving these notes over to your own writing, I might come back to you in a minute. Is there anything you want to do first?
No. Just scribbling away real fast.
Okay. Then where I want to start is with the end of dinner back in the ballroom. As the meal begins to conclude, the sound of silverware hitting plates clinking throughout this massive marbled space. The music begins to swell from the orchestra off to the side of the room, picking up slightly as the dancing begins, and you see couples begin to move from tables towards the dance floor as it gradually begins to fill. Other small groups of noblemen and women and other assorted guests begin to congregate and speak, and eventually breaking off as more and more people begin to float towards the dance floor. Violette, while you are finished, as soon as you finish your meal, Simone, who has agreed to, has already offered to dance with you early in the evening, does escort you, does ask if you would wish to be escorted out for your for the first dance, and if stands and gives a very polite posture and says, "My lady, if you would you do me the honor of dancing with me?"
Of course.
Escorts you up from your table and leads you out towards the dance floor. While Violette is swept up in the dancing, I don't really have anything interesting for Simone to say unless there's anything you want to ask him.
Cannot imagine he has much interesting to say.
Nice. So it's one-dimensional. You've heard most of what you need from him at this point. I think ZaKeer and Hadzel were in a kind of a suggestive position somewhere off out of the main ballroom.
The hand on the wall.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I'm trying to
ZaKeer
remember if
asked,
you come back.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you come back yet at this point.
I think I had, because I think that, or because ZaKeer pretended to scold me at one point, but I think that was before getting the wine spilled on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then when the wine got spilled. Oh, right. Okay, so ZaKeer, you
somewhere
left.
changing, yeah.
Yeah, to go change. That's right. Okay, I don't know why I'd conflated those two. So, where is ZaKeer and Hadzel right now?
Double checking back through my notes.
We can decide where you're at, like, because you could have moved somewhere else.
ZaKeer would have finished up dinner after I had gone changed and is sitting to the side as he's watching people dance.
Okay. Are you declining any invitations to dance?
He will decline with the excuse that when he was younger, he had gotten into an accident on the plantation and injured his leg. Not enough to basically make it difficult to walk, but any extreme movements like dancing will agitate it.
Okay. This might seem superficial, but I do want you to roll for this because this could affect your cover's standing within society if people are seeing this as a slight.
Would it be a charm?
Yes.
Okay. No successes.
Okay. We hadn't gone through. Did you apply any traits or anything? Or do you have any traits that apply?
Would I say like my concept of the Conjure Spy would add a dice because it's like a cover story?
Sure.
Okay, I'll just add a d6 on there. I got a nudge.
Okay, you got a nudge, but no
successes.
Okay. So yes, I think what happens is you turn down a few people with this story. They seem to take it politely, but you steadily begin to notice like a lack of interest in you as the evening passes. with fewer people asking. It seems to spread pretty quick, and you aren't entirely sure if they believed your story or not, but at least nobody is asking you to dance.
Good.
Okay, so we have a couple things that we talked about before that I think we want to get into, but I think I will, since Violette has a couple of her dance card is fairly full. We're going to start with one of these, one of hers, and then we'll transition back to Mouse and Hadzel. Unless, Hadzel, was there anything you wanted to do right
because at least part of what Hadzel is doing is standing in as like etiquette coaching for Violette, and also I don't know if they ever talk about like how the dance card actually gets filled up, if they all go to Violette, or maybe if as her steward Hadzel facilitates some of that, but anytime she gets a breather, we'll just be like, and your next dance is with so-and-so, and fill her in on the relevant information and gossip that Hadzel is aware of.
We can actually cut to that very quickly if y'all want to have a conversation, because that ties in with what was going to happen next.
Yep.
So you've had a few dances at this point, Violette, we'll say.
Sorry, just to intrude a little bit. While ZaKeer's on the side, he is tracking the obligator that we had spoken to and seeing who Cedric and who he's been speaking with.
Okay. We can roll for that in a second. Violette, you return. Hadzel gives you the word on who all has requested a dance with you at this point.
I'm going to have to start turning them down, especially if they're going to keep stepping on my feet.
Yes, well, it is perfectly within your right to take a breather for a dance. No one expects you to have the endurance to go the whole evening, but kind of looking over ZaKeer's way, if you turn down too many people, you may find yourself without any interest at all.
Right.
But have you learned anything of interest from these latest partners?
Of interest? No. I've learned quite a bit. People talk about themselves so much.
Well, this is to be expected. You are a new arrival to Luthadel politics, and so it'd be somewhat of a surprise if you were to readily gain access to those of the upper crust so quickly, though.
You think they'd at least be polite enough to ask about me?
Some people are just too oblivious and love the sound of their own voice.
Has anything come of all the stealing that Lady Elikel was doing?
Has either Hadzel or perhaps in conferring with ZaKeer, have we noticed Lady Julia Erikel? Because she kept looking over at Violette earlier. Have we been able to track like people she's talked to? And this may be too many billiard balls bouncing off each other, but who she's talked to and who they've gone to talk to, and if it's gotten back around to.
Yeah, so since both of you have dedicated yourselves to trying to keep an eye on the court at this point, why don't I have each of you roll to observe that? This will be wits. Do you have any? If you have any traits that would apply, I think you have like an observer one specifically, ZaKeer, that would I think work for this.
And I've got my specialty as a court expert.
Okay, I'd allow that too. So you can each add 1 die for that. No burdens, no tools. Circumstances, I think, are still in your favor at this point. So, yeah, go roll with that.
Heyo. Get it.
Nice.
Well, pair of 1s, but
okay.
Looks like ZaKeer did well enough.
So what I'm going to say is ZaKeer was sort of focusing on Cedric, and Hadzel, you were focusing on Lady Erikel. Is that who I said? That's who you were asking about? Yeah. So for Hadzel, with your success, no nudges, right?
Correct.
Just the
Yeah.
the one. With your level of success, what I'm gonna say is, it's too. There's two people talking to each other to really follow the trail too much,
Yeah.
but you do keep an eye on Lady Arakel throughout the evening. After dinner, she seems more preoccupied with her dance card for the evening, having conversations. You do notice her because everybody from the upper table that was dining with Lady Venture and Lords Oliver and Antony have now come down into the room. The Lady Venture is nowhere to be seen currently, but Lord Oliver and Antony are engaging in conversation kind of amongst the crowds and stuff. And you see Lady Arakel has sort of joined that group speaking, and is more like engaged in that conversation, hasn't really given much of a look over to Violette since then. ZaKeer, with yours, I'll give you your information, then y'all can reconvene based on what you've seen. You have kept an eye out for Cedric throughout the evening, and he's very difficult to keep an eye on. Moves around a lot, moves very gracefully. With these sort of poise and precision that you would expect with somebody with his abilities. But you keep a good eye on him. Not much of note as far as who he's speaking with. He seems to be making rounds to the tables. Occasionally is called over to a couple of a small group of nobles who have a brief conversation and seem very, again, captivated by his presence, as most everyone has been throughout the evening. You do notice one exchange of significant note during the night, as he is sort of approached very directly by make sure I have the right name, Lady Monique Buvidas, who is Hadzel previously pointed out is the one of the daughters of House Buvidas, one of the major noble families. She approaches Cedric very quickly and sort of pulls him aside out of the earshot of other partygoers. And just by reading their body language and keeping an eye on them, they have a pretty heated conversation. Heated from one side, specifically, as Lady Monique is very... You can see her trying to control herself, but you watch as her kind of her color kind of rises in her complexion. She is holding her hands very tightly to keep from animating too much. You see her jaw clench a few times as they are having this discussion. Unless you move over, it's too far out of your earshot to see what they're talking about, but it does seem like she is very agitated by something, and Cedric seems to try his best to keep a calm demeanor in response.
I imagine that if I can see them, can I see what Lady Monique is saying via lip reading?
I will give you some of it based on your nudges.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any training on lip reading or anything like that in this game, so we can do that based on the nudges, and kind of it would make. I think that's not outside of the realm of possibility for ZaKeer. So if you wish, you sort of maybe stretch your legs, position yourself in a place where you can see her face clearly to get an idea of what she might be saying, and you pick up a few things, a few words. Specifically, you see her say the name. I'm not sure the right name. Why do I have so many? You hear her say the name, the Lord Raul Ilario. You can very clearly make that out, mentioning Cedric's father. You also see her say something about the canal routes and Chevalier.
Eyebrows just go up. And I will return back to the table.
Okay. So, with all that information that Hadzel and ZaKeer have now, and if there's anything else do you want to discuss while Violette is back at the table?
So, my dear friend Violette, how is your night going?
Wonderful. Simply wonderful.
Yes, you cannot tell my mistress is being sarcastic at the moment.
Yes. I have a bit of trouble understanding sarcasm and rhetorical questions.
I'm sure it will pick up soon.
Is there a clock in the main hall, or is there some form of timekeeping? Because I know I have to make the drop at some point.
I'll say yes. I don't know if clocks actually exist in this, in the canon of the original Mistborn series, but because I never once remember somebody mentioning a clock. But I'm willing to say that technology exists. Probably not like, does somebody have a pocket watch?
Definitely by the
That
second
sounds
series.
yeah, the second
Oh,
series for sure.
Wasn't no, Clubs was a furniture maker.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that that clocks exist as far as the nobles having access to them, sort of like grandfather clocks, larger timepieces. So yeah, say on one of the balconies you can gauge upwards and see a grandfather clock. Say the time right now is probably around 11.
Well, I have someone to meet in a few minutes, so if you will excuse me.
Of course.
Hadzel?
Master Orlean.
Slightly limping away.
As the as ZaKeer leaves, you hear a throat clear behind you, Violette. You turn to see standing behind you, Lord Oliver Venture. Says, Lady Violette, I believe we had an appointment.
Yes, Lord Venture.
Well, please, if you'll do me the honor.
Of course.
Takes your hand and leads you to the dance floor.
At some point in the breather, Hadzel would have given her the dish on Lord Oliver based on what he knew, knowing that this dance was coming up.
That's fair. So just any like house knowledge that you might know, like about him. Okay. Probably isn't too much. He's younger, mostly overshadowed by the dealings of his mother. Yeah, I'll see if there's anything else that comes aboard. We can answer those questions, as it were, rather than me just making up some stuff right now. You are led out towards the dance floor, and the music swells, and the dance begins. Let's see if I've got one. I'm gonna trust Sid. No, that's not what I want.
You don't want to trust Sid?
Sorry, I was pulling this music. That was very loud. No, I don't want to trust Sid. Never trust Sid. I thought I had like a waltz in here, but I don't think. Yeah, we can go with this. The music begins, and the two of you begin to spin and twirl across the floor. That's way too clowny for me. All right, I'm just gonna go back to the music I had before because I'm not gonna sit here and just guess. Instead, I've just been pulling music from your playlist for this because I don't have good dance music. He says, I must say, I was rather surprised by your forwardness in implying that we should dance.
Will you?
Yes, it's very rarely that it happens. I can't remember the last time I danced at one of these events.
Really? That is quite a surprise.
Well, I don't make a habit of making a fool out of myself in front of the entire court.
So you don't like to dance, Lord Venture?
No, not particularly. But given the show you put on, I felt that it would be rather difficult for me to turn down the proposal.
Well, I hope I haven't embellished you too much.
No, not at all. Was your friend well receptive to the suit that I loaned him?
Oh, yes. Very much.
Good.
I appreciate that. Quite a bit.
Certainly. And no need to return it. He can keep it. Call it a fair compensation for the one that was ruined.
I let him know.
This is your first dance, or your first ball in Lutherdale, I believe.
Yes.
I haven't seen you at one of these events before, at least.
We are recently moved to Lutherdale.
And where did your family relocate from?
A small city out in the east of the Dominant. It is nowhere of consequence.
Well, I'm glad that you're here then. You've certainly inspired a bit of liveliness to the evening.
Good. I think everyone could use a bit of fun now and again, even if perhaps they are reluctant to.
Perhaps. So, what other things draw the interests of Lady Violette?
Well, I find most of my time is spent helping my uncle, working, family business and all that. We are a small family, so. But I enjoy a great many things. Long walks in the countryside, books.
Well, I wouldn't recommend going on many long walks around here.
No, it seems like it would be difficult to breathe.
Yes, things in the central dominance are far different than out in the farther reaches. I imagine it must grow quite boring for you around here.
Oh, I don't think so. I find many ways to entertain myself.
Well, I would advise simply being careful. It's a treacherous city. You don't want to step in the wrong place.
You are not the first person to tell me this.
Well, whoever said it before was clearly doing you a favor.
So, Lord Venture, if you don't like to dance, what do you like to do?
Well, many exciting and entertaining things. I won't bore you with the details.
Very convincing.
I'm one of the eldest sons of the most powerful person in the entire city. It grows dreadfully boring.
No time for entertainment then.
Not my mother would allow it. She keeps us very busy, tending to the house and its interests. She takes all the credit, of course, but...
Yeah.
Well, Auntie and I stay very busy.
I'm sure.
As you begin to kind of move across the ballroom, you do notice a few eyes on you. I mean, many people have been keeping eyes on Oliver throughout the evening. However, more attention is drawn as you, a relatively unknown quantity, are now dancing with one of the most eligible bachelors in the Final Empire. And very specifically, especially since Hadzel's been keeping an eye out as well, I'd say both of you do notice Lady... sorry, I'm looking for the name here. I got my list of NPCs. I need to stop putting it away. You notice that you have drawn the the very close attention of Lady Renee Chevalier once again. As she stands near the edge of the floor, somebody currently trying to engage her in conversation, but she seems totally ignorant of it, as she does almost nothing but stare daggers at you through the entirety of the dance.
Well, we seem to have drawn quite a bit of attention. I suppose maybe I should apologize.
Right. You noticed that. I would give Lady Renee her space through the rest of the evening if I were in your shoes.
I take it she has some interest?
Some, yes. I have found myself not wanting her attention at these events for several months now.
So you do not reciprocate?
I fear that, I fear that I do not. She is very charming, of course, but, well, the heart wants what the heart wants and all of that, and it doesn't want what it certainly doesn't want.
Fair. Yeah. I'm sure she'll be alright.
Yes, I certainly hope so. As I said, she is very charming and has been nothing but kind to me, but many are fearing that she's reaching beyond her station with these attempts, and I worry that she may draw the wrong enemies.
Everything here is so much more complicated than it was in the country.
You'll find that.
I suppose not everything has to be complicated, though.
If you learn of a way to reduce the complications, please let me know.
I find that while maybe initially it makes a few people, especially the sorts of people that attend these balls, while it might make them uncomfortable at first, simply speaking your mind usually does its trick. Though my uncle would tell me not to.
You'll find very few people here tend to follow that advice, speaking their mind. Though, it seems to have worked for my mother for far too long, so perhaps you and her have something in common.
I have not been in Luthadel long enough to know whether or not that is a compliment, Lord Venture.
Take it for a bit of honesty.
Perhaps people here will learn a thing or two from the country girl. Speaking my mind seems to have worked for me today.
Yes, it did. Well, we can only hope that you continue to keep these events as lively as you have tonight. And as he says that, the music begins to die out and the song ends. He says, well, I hope this serves as compensation for the terrible evening that you've had so far.
I think my evening is starting to look up.
Good. So you have ignored my abysmal dancing, then. Glad I was able to distract you with pleasant conversation.
You are perfectly capable.
Well, I must excuse myself now. I do appreciate your time tonight and look forward to speaking with you further.
Of course. You know where to find me.
Yes. Good evening, Lady Violette.
Good evening.
Bows slightly and excuses himself from your company as he after escorting you back to your table. Anything else?
Well, that went well, I think.
Yes, well, you have certainly drawn much more attention. I imagine your dance card will be full the very rest of the evening. Either that, or you won't be asked by anyone else for fear of retaliation.
I think either of those would work for me. He did say he wanted to speak to me again.
Well, that certainly bodes well for your social standing within the city. But, well, perhaps we should try to remain focused on the tasks at hand for now.
I think it also bodes well for our information gathering. Lord Oliver was more than forward, I think, in showing how he feels about his station and his duties and his mother and Lady Chevalier.
Well, that makes him a rare man in Luthadel, then.
Maybe he just likes me.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe I can get something else out of him.
That is rather forward of you, mistress.
Hadzel? It's not that I'm mint.
A sly grin crack across his face before it returns to the steward stoic standard.
You are going to get yourself in trouble.
I do that enough on my own already, mistress.
Well, hopefully the Lady Chevalier doesn't stab me before we leave.
That would be rather unfortunate. I'm not quite sure what the know what protocols would be in that case, whether I'd simply stand by and let that happen, or if I'm expected to take the knife for you.
An interesting question.
Is this worth pulling from my copper mines to see if there's any kind of precedence for this? I don't imagine
Sorry.
so.
I don't imagine.
Out of everyone who could take a knife, I feel like the two of us were probably it.
Yeah, but I don't have any gold metal mines yet, so we gotta figure out a way to fix that.
I can get stabbed
Eventually.
like once. Probably. Just a little stab. As a
So,
treat.
Now I'm trying to remember, how badly does Vin get stabbed in the book, and then she's recovering for months?
Yeah.
Like the first time.
She gets effed up.
Yeah, she gets like
Yeah.
pretty wrecked, I think.
She gets like an axe to the stomach or something.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's more than a light shanking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the small shiv, it was like
It's an actual stab. More of a chop.
chop.
While this is all happening, sort of a slight backtracking in time, to Mouse.
Yes.
I'm gonna change the music here.
Don't make it creepy.
Mouse, you have are sitting in the dark still, transcribing this this note or this notebook, and you have you have basically reached the end of what you've been trying to copy.
Mhm.
And as you're beginning to, because the idea was to tuck the notebook back into the
Yeah.
desk.
Yeah, and I was just getting like the latest page in the new ledger.
Yeah.
And I kind of
As
sneak
you're-
it back in.
As you're finishing copying it down, you begin to tuck the notebook back in the desk and slide the panel back into place. When I don't know if you're burning tin right now or if you're just
I was thinking about that earlier when you asked if there's anything I like would have changed, and like I think she would have like started burning it while she was writing,
okay.
like taking notes.
You've been listening to some of like the movement of you can hear people in the castle and hearing like very far off footsteps, even picking up the small traces of music echoing down the halls from the main ballroom. You've been tracking a set of footsteps that have been pretty consistently 2 sets, it sounds like, in the distance, and you're beginning to notice them approaching. And it sounds like somebody has ascended the staircase and is coming down the hall in this direction.
Okay. Okay. Then better play it safe. She's just gonna kind of like stop and like start packing everything up and like check around. Is there was like another door in this room, wasn't there? Or was there only the one in and out? I feel like there was like another door, but
There was the
might be
one door
misremembering.
in and out, and there was there's the balcony.
Oh, I'm gonna. Okay. Does it? I'm gonna go to the balcony.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're like up. It sounds like they're approaching,
Uh-huh.
and so I probably don't have time to like leave and not get spotted. So, I mean, I
Probably
am wearing an outfit, but yeah, she's gonna head for the balcony and try to like close the door behind her very quietly.
Okay. So you move out onto the balcony, kind of closing the window as you stand up for this process. The cat has once again like jumped off of your lap and have climbed up onto the onto the back of that chair, the sitting chair, and it's just been watching you impassively like a cat. And so is your goal here to try to like, you're probably about 60 feet up or so.
Yeah.
Is your goal to try to like shimmy over to another window, or just like to hide out here on the balcony?
Yeah, maybe just hide and like wait until whoever it is, like leaves.
Okay.
Depending on how long that ends up being.
Okay. Now I'm gonna laugh at the stupid other guy's joke that RJ just made.
Oh jeez.
You duck out here. I'm trying to decide if I want you to roll to hide.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's have you roll to try to stay quiet and hidden to get out here before they arrive.
Okay. What would I be rolling for something like that?
This would be physique.
Dang it. Okay. All right. Shoot. All right. So let's see. So I'm starting with a pool of 3.
Yeah. Let's see what traits you have that might apply.
I think nervous definitely applies in the sense like she's been actively listening and like, oh shit, somebody's coming, is gonna like immediately try to book it.
Yeah, it's giving you a little bit of extra time.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, your street smart might apply for this too, I think.
Yeah.
Knowing how to hide, stay out of cover, stay out of sight.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. All right, so that brings me up to 5.
Okay.
Unless there are any circumstances I don't know about.
I will give you a circumstance in your favor here that is very dark.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Well, actually, okay, no, you need 2 positive conditions. Favorable conditions.
To add a die? Okay, I see that now.
And I can't think of a second one that would help you right here.
The fact that I'm burning tin, maybe? Because I'm using, that's like a, well, does that count as a tool? I can't remember how we.
No, so your tin would normally, if your tin burning directly supported the action, then you would gain your allomancy bonus for that.
That's how that works. Okay.
Your power rating. But I will say that I'll consider your tin as a favorable circumstance here because you have a better idea what's going on in that room when they enter where they're at to try to stay out of sight out here. Because I think what you're gonna have to do is essentially like there's like a stone railing to the balcony, and then there's like a slight lip on the other side, and I think you're basically gonna have to like slip over that edge and try to like
hang on.
kind of
oh geez,
like sit and kind of hang on the outer lip there to try to stay out of sight. And so I think that might give you a good advantage to like knowing when you really have to duck down if they start coming close. So
okay,
I'll give you that as another favorable circumstance. So that'll be another.
I got 6.
6 dice. Okay,
that's what I'm rolling with. Okay, here goes. Come on. Oh, so many 2s. Okay, dang it. I got like 4 2s.
4 2s. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That is a success on having double 2s. No 6s though.
No 6s. I got a 4 and a 5, but no 6.
All right. You so with a pair of 2s, you duck down out of sight. You hear 2 people enter the room, and you smell the like faint waft of perfume entering the room. As the first person enters, and then some heavier footfalls as the second person enters as well, and then the door closes. And there's a bit of a pause as they kind of shuffle, move around the room, and then you hear one person sit, based on the distance you're guessing near the desk. And the heavier footsteps move over towards the fireplace, where they sort of pace a bit, and you hear a feminine voice kind of through your tin enhanced ears speak first. So, your proposal then? The more gruff voice responds. Well, it is as I outlined in my letter to you. I believe that a alliance of our two houses would be beneficial in the coming weeks. Yes, you've made that abundantly clear, but I don't understand why. Well, you know the position of my house, and the advantages that we could bring should a union of our two powers come together. I believe that Lord Hastings has made his intentions quite clear. He's no longer satisfied with playing second fiddle to you and your family. And I believe he will make his move within the following months, should you not act first. There's a long pause. And do you have any proof of this? Nothing definitive. Rumors. Whisperings of the serving staff and slips of the tongue that have made their way to my people. But I believe this information to be credible. Rather troubling. Well, now I understand why, but I don't understand what you have to offer me that I don't already have. He clears his throat and continues. Yes, well, we are not your direct rivals when it comes to your canal routes and other trade dealings, so there's very little in the way of rivalry between our houses. In fact, we've been able to maintain a rather amicable relationship in the past years. In addition to my motivations here being sincere and my desires for my house's ascent further within our city, I've been making some headway with the ministry. I believe that very soon we will have some favorable circumstances that will bear fruit for myself and other houses that we are allied with. Interesting. Headway with the ministry. That's very dangerous waters. I've tried to keep myself out of ministry business whenever possible. I can't say that I'm thrilled with the idea of becoming embroiled with them in this endeavor. Well, my house would take the brunt of the risk here, I believe. Very little that you would have to stake. But with the assurance that, when the dust settles, you will have the legitimate backing that you need to claim whatever you wish from this arrangement. Yes. About that. That is where I believe we do not stand aligned, as you would say. We have the power, the capital, and the authority here to handle any of these matters with Hastings, should they come to pass. There have been threats and rumors and speculation for decades about their move to supplant my family. I don't see any reason to stick my neck out, as it were, for your benefit. My lady, this wouldn't be... Let me finish. Your family, your house, has the most to gain here. Hastings has stood in front of you for too long now, and I understand your desire to see them fall. But I gain almost nothing from this arrangement. So, unless you can present to me a better offer, and more incentive that I would have something to gain here, and that you would have something substantial to contribute, I see no reason to continue this conversation. Lady Josephine, please, if I may. No. We're finished here, Raoul. You may leave, and when you have a better offer, please write to me again. There's a long kind of a beat, and then you hear the heavy footfalls retreating quickly, and the doors slam.
Okay.
You hear Lady Josephine as she shifts in her chair for a moment. You hear the padding of small paws across the carpet as the cat jumps up into her lap, purring slightly. There's a brief moment of calm and silence until you hear the sound of something clinking against metal, like small objects in a metal container of sorts, and the ruffling of Lady Josephine's dress. And then you hear her stand as there's a snap, as a small container seems to close. Footsteps across the carpeted floor. The door opens and closes once again.
Try to like get back up onto the balcony.
The room is empty, save for the cat still resting on the chair.
Okay, and then can I still hear if like Lady Josephine is like gone back
You hear
downstairs?
you hear her steps continuing to move down the hall. It seems like she's heading back towards the ballroom.
Okay. Cool. Gonna wait like a minute and then like leave.
Okay.
Heading towards like the the kitchens, like surround area.
You retreat back down the hall, making your way back to where you are supposed to be. More music here. Back in the ballroom. ZaKeer.
Hello.
While the dancing has continued, you have moved up to the balconies to make your drop.
Drop. Probably found the location in which he was supposed to stand, leans against a banister, pulls out a pipe, and begins to just wait around.
Okay. As you wait, time passes. The dancing continues down below. You can just see it over the railing from your current vantage point. And you watch as Violette dances with Lord Oliver. And you're pretty secluded up here. There's not many other people. There are a couple like other couples standing against the railings or leaning in alcoves, having intimate conversations. But otherwise, it's fairly quiet and still up here, save for the sea of colorful dresses and suits spinning beneath you. And then you watch as somebody ascends the staircase, a woman, and begins to move in your direction in a colorful blue dress with black hair, lightly curled and kind of tousled around her shoulders, You've seen her a few times during the evening, having conversations with some of the other nobility. As Lady Julia Arakel approaches you, she stops at your balcony, looking up towards the clock, looking back towards you. I'm afraid that we haven't met.
I believe that we have a mutual acquaintance, though.
And who would this be?
A lovely little butcher down in a street address.
Oh, the shop that Sting was operating out of.
Yeah.
I see. My lord, I'm sorry, I don't have your name.
Lord Orlin Glim. Pleasure to meet you, finally.
Yes. A pleasure. She looks a bit wary of this circumstance. You not being the person that maybe not being the person that she's expected, or maybe just being nervous. But she stands at the edge of the balcony with you and sort of hesitates for a moment. She says, "Do you have it?"
Sadly, my lady, during the commotion, as I was rifling around, I didn't seem to find anything. The Laurent family is a bit destitute at the moment.
Looks around and sort of moves towards you to speak quieter. She says, "That cannot be. The source that I had was adamant that they were in possession of considerable wealth."
I'm sorry to inform you, my lady, but they did not have anything. I have been in their house for several weeks, looking around. Ledgers and the like do not suggest even a hint. They are just established.
It doesn't make any sense.
What I want to understand is why there is so much intrigue to a new noble family here in Luthadel, especially one as small as they are.
Don't understand why I have to explain this again. My source was very credible in all of this. Somebody who has observed the family since they're entering the city, provided me with this information. I paid a considerable amount for it. They advised that the Lord Laurent himself has on several occasions proclaimed the significant wealth of their family in open company and in public. I assure you, it is there in the house. Now, I will demand a full reimbursement for the amount that I paid you for these services if you're not able to acquire what I have requested.
He'll hold up a hand. If your source is as credible as you say they are, then I will continue to look. But be warned, you are not the only family who has a vested interest.
Who else?
I'm not at liberty to say, but I did leave you a clue. I want to set up house venture.
Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna have you. This one is gonna be a charm roll here.
Gotcha.
Challenge.
My profession spy or extremely talkative feature.
I'd say both of those would apply, yeah.
Cool.
I need to find a stat block for her. Ability. Okay. So you're gonna roll with charm. With those, she's gonna roll with wits. And her trait. Your trait business sense is gonna apply here, but that's only gonna give her 5 dice. Go ahead and roll.
Pair of 4s. No nudges.
Pair of 1s. She pauses for a moment, considers this. She says, "If this is true, I will offer you additional compensation to provide me with anything else that you're told by your other business partners."
My lady, I think this will be lucrative for the both of us.
Very well. I will arrange our next meeting in the way that I have before. Expect contact from my people.
He will. It's known that like some houses send staff into other places, right?
Or we'll pay off the staff for information. Yeah.
I'm actually rooming currently in their estate, West Wing.
Very well. Then I know what to send word to.
He will give her a bow, professional, before adjusting his coat, and by her leave, walks away.
You both separate, moving to different staircases. She very quickly moves away from you. And with this reveal and further information, I'd like to go ahead and take our break here.
Okay.
All right. We'll come back, and I'd like to see if Hadzel wants to get up to anything with the administrator, and then we'll finish up with our meeting with Violette and Cedric.
Oh yeah.
Very good. Good stuff, everyone. We will be back very soon with the second half of our session. So everyone take a break, drink some water, stretch, unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, whatever you need to do. And we will see you here in a few minutes, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Internet. Thanks for hanging out with us while we took our break. We're back, ready to go, to keep balling it up. Let's get started. As the... put this music back on. As the ball continues, the dancing carrying even later into the evening, the... Violette, your dance with Oliver has ended, and maybe a few others request your attention. But I know that you maybe have some other plans that we might get back to in a second. If you're still planning on asking Renee to dance.
No, not her.
Oh, was it not her? Oh no, it was
Julia.
sorry, it was Julia. It was Erikel, right?
Well, I guess a lot of.
We can
I'll wait till
reconvene
ZaKeer
with
gets
everyone.
back.
What I was gonna ask is, Hadzel, while Violette is dancing, and entertained, and ZaKeer is gone, is there anything you wanted to get up to?
Yeah, I will attempt to pull a mouse and go find that administrator's room and see what I can find out there.
Okay. So you head back through the servants' quarters, and where the other stewards and attendants to the ball are currently waiting for the evening to end. I am going to have you. I'm going to have you roll to sort of maneuver your way there stealthily. It's just what I was going to ask is it more so for Hadzel like trying to stay out of sight, or more of like putting on an air of importance and trying to...
I think it's the air of, I'm supposed to be here. I'm a steward. I know what I'm doing. Just let me do what I need to do.
Okay. Then if we're going to go along with that, I'm going to have you roll charm.
Okay.
And then I believe your for traits that would apply. You've got one that's just for your steward.
Yeah.
Being a terror steward.
Yep. I do also have my drive is to acquire secret knowledge. Could that apply here? Because that is the reason I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because my charm is only 3. But so getting things up would be good. And I don't imagine any of my medals would be immediately helpful. Yeah. Because I have I think I said it was a smelling tin mind. So I can't like listen for people unless I want to smell real good and see if people are around. Which I mean could still be helpful.
Maybe. I'll allow it.
Okay, so that means I can add my tin minds rating.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 3. So that brings my pool up to an 8. Okay. And yeah, I do have plans for if there are people there versus if not, but so.
Okay.
Well, lots of 1s, but 2 nudges.
Jeez, that is a lot of 1s. That's like the opposite of the last game where somebody rolled like all
the max.
6. Yeah.
2 5s and the rest 6s.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So success, or so 1 success with 2 nudges. You begin to sort of navigate yourself back to where you had seen the administrators step into their office before. Nobody immediately calls any attention to you. But I think as you are kind of rounding that last corner, you bump in to Theo, who's the Venture Terrace steward of the household. Kind of sees you and stops. I believe you might be turned around. The dining hall is back the other way.
Yes, I do believe that you are correct. However, I did have some business to attend to, though perhaps I was misdirected in coming down this hallway in particular.
I believe you might have. Who is your business with?
Did I catch the administrator's name before? Who was talking to him?
That's a good question. I don't remember if I don't think I gave a name before.
So this might be me tapping my copper mine to see if that's in the information available.
I think that would be acceptable.
So I need to pull up the PDF. I should have had this open already. And my computer does not want to open files right now.
Oh, no.
One moment. Okay, almost there. Okay. Because the copper rules are always a little weird.
Yeah, I'm pulling them up too.
So for each charge you tap, you regain one lost stored piece of information or learned trait, calling with perfect clarity and accuracy. But so, yeah, I guess it's, how do we determine whether or not I had this information to begin with? But otherwise, it seems like it's just tap a charge to pull the name.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just tapping a charge to pull a name from it. Yeah, okay, I'll allow it. So you tap one charge from your copper metal mind. And immediately recalls the name of the administrator of the venture finances is Lord Salazar Dwin.
Yes, I wish to speak with Lord Salazar Dwin to speak about the matter of my mistress's guest suit. I understand that the Lord Oliver Venture offered to allow him to keep the suit as compensation, but I would hate for House Laurent, so newly arrived to the city, to be seen as beggars, and so I wish to speak with him about appropriate financial compensation.
Well, you are correct that his office is this direction. I will escort you there and see if Lord Dwin is currently available. Please, if you would follow me. Turns and leads you back towards the office, up the stairs to where you saw Lord Dwin enter previously. Knocks on the door. My lord? No response. One moment, turning back to you. Opens the door to peer inside. Says, he closes it. It appears he is not currently present in his office. I will have to locate him. If you would please remain here, I will bring him post-haste.
Of course.
He then turns and retreats back towards the main hall, leaving you at the door to Lord Dwin's office.
Once I think he's far enough away and that there's someone else around, I will, of course, sneak in.
Of course. You duck into the office. It is a sort of a humble office space. Interior to the building, no windows looking out, just a single door leading in. Stacks of papers and ledgers and books all around. It's fairly cramped, with the small, kind of sparse furnishings befitting a noble of lower rank. There's a desk, some shelves which have like ledgers and other documents tucked into them.
So, did I give Mouse the advice about searching for hidden compartments before? Was that something that she knew as more of a thieving type?
I think that was something you did offer at during the last session.
Yeah, so
She's not a thief, she's a spy.
Yeah.
Different.
But following that advice, because I can't imagine as a financial manager that he would keep, and this is why we're spying on you, out with his other ledgers and stuff, gonna quickly check for secret compartments and such.
Okay. Let's go ahead and roll. So it's gonna be wits to search quickly.
Okay. Trying to think if any of my metals would come into play here.
That's a good
don't
question.
know that. I mean, maybe mental speed, just to kind of logically run through, like, if it's not here, then it might be here, because I don't have much time.
I'd allow that. Yeah.
Okay. So, oh no, that's not the right page number. So, tap in Sync Mind. Yeah, plus one die with Charm and Wits rolls. Okay, and so I can do up to 3. Okay. That's much better. That's lots of 4s and a nudge.
All right, so pair of 4s and 1 nudge. You scour this office quickly. I think the enhance, as you tap your metal mind for this enhanced mental processing, you're able to like skim through documents very quickly, searching for like hidden compartments. It does not seem like there's anything hidden here, except for what is sort of hidden in plain sight amongst all the kind of piles of bookkeeping. What you do find, though, is very interesting. I'd say the 2 pieces of information that you're able to gather. One of these very secret. We'll give it to you with your nudge. But the first one that you're able to find is a series of contracts for for guards, the hiring of additional protection and guards for the northern Venture House's northern canal routes. There is a very heavy guard presence with these canals, and I think that definitely catches your attention because it was more than you would expect for simple mercantile transportation. The other piece that you find is actually like a work order. And this, I think, wouldn't normally catch your attention, but as you skim through it quickly, it causes you to pause as you find a maintenance report or like a contract or some work orders that were done for some maintenance to a vault constructed under the Venture Keep.
I assume there's no blueprints or anything, but maybe I can at least get the I assume it lists like what parts were repaired, and so it's not giving me the full schematics, but this is at least something.
Yeah, it does seem like there's some sort of heavy like metal apparatus, some like hinges that were replaced due to rust, some sort of metal vault door that is constructed underneath Keep Venture down in the catacombs.
So what I'll do when I find, with both the guard ones and that one, I will quickly store in my copper mind, and much in the same way that they do in the books. It's, quietly reading it aloud to myself as I'm looking at the page as I store it in. And I'm just quickly double checking the storing rules. Okay, there's something about maximum number of charges you may store in any hour. It's equal to your copper rating or your wits score -1. Okay, so I think that actually that's 2, so I can do these 2 things.
Okay.
But so going to, basically memorize the guard numbers and information and the stuff about the vault and just, reading it quietly to himself. And as he is saying this and it's going into copper mind, it's like, those of us who've read the books know the sensation, but for the audience, as Hadzel is saying these things, like he's aware that he's said something and he has maybe a vague idea of what it is, but as it transfers into one of his copper metal minds, he no longer knows what actually it was. He knows that, okay, I found important information and I need to share this with the crew later, but in this current moment, I don't actually remember what it was that I found.
Okay. And as you're finishing up with this, you begin to hear somebody approaching from outside.
If I think I have to, I will use some steel to quickly get back outside and seem like I have not moved. But
I think with your success, I'll
okay.
roll that forward and say that you're able to duck out just as they're cresting the stairs to where they'd be able to see you before, but fast enough that they don't notice you leave the office. And you see the same sort of kind of tightly buttoned administrator that you saw before, Lord Dwin, approaches with Theo accompanying them. Lord Dwin says, I don't believe that I had an appointment on my ledger for this. What is the nature of this business?
You are correct. I apologize for the impromptu meeting. However, if Theo has not told you, I am Lady Violette Baron's steward, and I wished to handle the financial compensation for the suit that Lord Oliver Venture lent to our young guest this evening.
Ah, right.
I understand he intended it as a gift, but as I explained to Theo, I would hate for our newly arrived house to be seen as beggars so quickly upon our arrival.
I understand. Please, if you'll step into my office, we can discuss the full matters of the reimbursement, along with the cost of damages to your master's property. And opens the door and heads inside along with you and Theo. And we'll skip through that unless there's any unless you actually want to get anything into that conversation.
Nah.
But you just discuss some finances as okay, well, this is the cost of the suit, and this is the damage to the old one, and how much that would have cost, so this is how much you owe us, and you work that out. I'd like to sort of, since I think everybody has accomplished what they need to, and there's a lot of information that needs to pass between your groups, is there anything you want to stay at the ball for, or do we want to like cut back to after the ball? Oh wait, Violette, you had something you wanted to do before the evening was over, so we'll end with that at the ball, and then we will reconvene the entire group. So Violette, what are you doing?
I would like to find Cedric. Casually. As casually as possible. As
you are kind of scanning around, finish another dance, you begin to feel like a little bit of burning on your feet, a little bit of muscle ache from the exertion of the night's festivities as the close of the evening is steadily approaching since reaching midnight. And you look up towards the balconies, and up there you see, looking down in your direction, standing at the edge of the balcony far away from anyone else, is Obligator Cedric.
I'm going to... So we've already kind of threatened him a little bit earlier in the evening. I will sort of look up, make like pointed eye contact, just kind of smile, and then are there like, is there any like outdoor space or like balconies?
Yes,
or, like,
so
like
the on the upper level there's like there are outdoor balconies.
Okay,
up there.
so I'll just take my whatever drink I'm drinking, a wine glass or whatever, and just kind of very casually say hi to a couple of people along the way. Make my way up the stairs and out onto one of the balconies.
All right. Shortly after you arrive with your wine glass in hand, you hear somebody quietly approaching behind you. And you hear Cedric's voice. Should I fetch you another drink, my lady?
No, this one is quite fresh. Thank you.
Good. Because I really didn't want to anyway. He smiles and walks next to you. He says, I find my feet are killing me after all the walking around tonight. How do you find your evening here?
Quite enjoyable. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's good to hear. Many people are overwhelmed, I think, at their first outing. One of our many, many balls.
I imagine they are quite a regular occurrence here in Luthadel.
Every week. Again and again, the same thing. Round and round they go.
Then I suppose I am just getting started.
Well, you've already made quite an impression. A dance with Lord Oliver Venture. It's going to cause quite a commotion. Somebody of your standing.
Huh? He would have been well within his rights to say no.
True. I can't fully understand why he agreed. Perhaps you just have that effect on people.
Oh, you do not find me charming?
Oh, I find you very charming.
Although I suppose during our last encounter we didn't get to speak much.
I suppose not. But I find that I learned a lot during our first meeting. For example, the company you keep. Very interesting. Dangerous company, even.
I like to surround myself with interesting people. I find I can learn a lot from them.
So what exactly can you learn from a terrace keeper?
Quite a bit, Lord Cedric. They are vast wells of knowledge.
So I've heard. The people that I associate with are very interested to know exactly what your friend knows.
I find you know much about the company I keep, but I know very little of yours.
Not much teaching on the ministry and the divinity of the Lord Ruler in the countryside.
No, you'll find us a bunch of backwoods heathens. Also, as they say.
Well, it's good to know that the rumors are true then. Like I said, you are very charming. I'm very interested to know whether an arrangement might be beneficial to both of us.
What sort of arrangement?
The kind that keeps your friend out of the hands of the Steel Ministry. I'm sure you've heard the rumors about Inquisitors and their methods.
I've heard a tale or two.
They can be quite thorough.
Well, They are just men.
Are they? I'm not entirely sure myself.
I suppose if I don't want to find out, I should heal you out.
That may benefit both of us.
By all means.
He stops and looks back down towards the ballroom, back into the main hall, and across the sea of partygoers still dancing and laughing. He says, I'm sure you've done your reading on me, or at least know who I am now. And I imagine that you've asked yourself why somebody from my position would have chosen to join the ministry.
Half the cult is asking themselves that question about you.
I enjoy the mystery. Maybe a conversation for another time, but what do you see when you look in there?
A lot of things, Lord Cedric. I think opportunity.
That's not what I see. He almost looks disappointed at your response.
Well, teach me something then. What do you see?
I see rot, decay, a layer of ash and blood covering everything. And it makes me nauseous. Sickens me.
So you're not a fan of dancing either, I take it. At least, not the kinds that happens in a ballroom.
The way things are have been the way they are for too long. Change. Well, we can get into the specifics of that at another time. It's a bit too noisy here. We should speak again.
Yes, you have yet to tell me what you wish of me.
I want you to see what I see when I look in there. You have more in common than most of them do. I don't see why you couldn't. This city starves for a new beginning. For the old to crumble away for something different. In the same way the Lord Ruler once did. I want you to consider what you would change if you could. I know where to find you. We'll speak again soon. Somewhere we're both more ourselves.
I look forward to it.
I as well. For my sake, yours, and your terrorist friends. Good evening, Lady Violette.
Good evening, Obligator Cedric.
He turns and leaves the balcony.
Finish wine. Hand off glass to a servant somewhere. Strange men.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do at the ball?
It's time to exfiltrate.
Oh,
Go
no,
drag Sasha away from whatever nonsense he's gotten up to.
I really wanted to see how uncomfortable I could make Lady Arakel.
It's up to you. There will be more balls.
Yeah, we probably should wait on that one. Because after
Sasha's
the...
doing party tricks somewhere in the bar, in the ballroom right now.
It's a bunch of glass on a table with a sheet.
Yeah.
Chow wants to know how many bathrobes he managed to steal.
So as you all load into the carriage,
Which stat would he roll for this? Should we just have him roll his physique?
oh boy,
For how many
Yes,
bathrobes he could carry.
Yep, just
I've got a character
8d6.
sheet. I've got a character sheet for Sasha. Hold on, did any of his trade supply to reclaim what was taken? Is a
Yeah,
drive.
absolutely.
I'm gonna add that. Playboy depends on how he got the bathrobes.
Yeah.
That's already
How many?
10d6.
I'm gonna give him 10.
Go,
Please, all
Sasha, go.
sixes. 5 and all 6.
Pair of 5s
Yes.
and 3
Okay.
6s.
Oh, yeah.
So you add all those together and that's how many bathrobes he stole?
Yes.
Oh my
so
gosh.
5 plus 3, he has 8 bathrobes that he brings out.
That's so many.
I
He's got enough for one each day of the week.
As you're all leaving
you can
towards the
double
carriage,
up.
and he's got like a bundle under his arm. I trust you all had a wonderful evening.
Yes.
Hear that perhaps you have had the most productive evening out of any of us.
What is that?
Just a collection that I am starting. Please let us go before somebody is missing these.
Yeah, peels out of there.
All right. I want to pan. Do we want to have the conversation? Well, Mouse is driving. We'll all get it. I think we'll
Yeah.
reconvene back at House Laurent if that works for everyone.
For some snacks.
Kitchen swarmer scene.
Yeah. Yes.
Some snacks.
So in
Mouse
the-
is probably
at the
hungry.
nightcap.
So you've cleared out the kitchen. The serving staff dismissed as you have gathered your some refreshments for yourself. I'm gonna change your music.
Oh, and Violette's gonna change.
You don't want to wear your fancy dress all night? Wait, did we ever get a description of what Violette was wearing?
I think she did last
Did I?
time.
Did
I
say
can't
did
that out loud?
remember.
You were picking your dress, and you described which dress you ended up.
I know I
choosing.
said it was gold because my uncle said to wear the blue one.
Other one.
And I
Yes.
said, fine, I'm wearing the gold one.
Okay.
Is this like just like sequined out sort of like gold gown with like I can't think of what the top is called, but the sleeveless top and like a very, very tight corset with boning.
Like a sweetheart?
Inside. Yes, the sweetheart neckline. That's
'Kay.
Thank you. And then just a huge sort of skirt with like an over layer with like sort of like teardrop lace going down, which is like gold and shiny. And because the corset boning would probably be actual bones. It's got a weapon built right in.
Deflected knife.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Used to make them out of animal bones. But it didn't come up, so. But that's just been rolling around in my head, is like bones.
But they get the bones by like hunting mist wraiths and like scavenging the parts that they've eaten.
There's
or...
actually a lovely Chandra seamstress in Luthadel
It's
who
me.
takes their leftover
kidnaps
bones and makes them into corsets.
Yes, there is actually, the whole sea and water off to the east or
Well
the
done.
west. Maybe they could actually do some whaling back then.
Yes.
There
Can
could
I
be
make-
whales, yeah.
There could be whales.
I always forget that they're actually like normal animals in Mistborn compared
Exactly,
to
they're not
Stormlight,
all
where it's
weird.
just like, what are these animals?
Yeah, they're not
Having
crab
to-
whales.
Having to remember that most of the dogs are just dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, there are animals.
Not
They're just
crab
not really
dogs.
described in the books very often.
Can we
Yeah.
add this seamstress character, this tailor that I've made into existence, please?
Yeah. hold on.
Yes!
So, Chandra Seamstress.
Seamstress,
Do you have a
tailor,
name?
whatever. No, of course not.
All right.
About to say she could be doing this in like her time, off contract, but then she would also have to be in the homeland
I mean,
for
I feel
vacation
like
time.
someone redeemed an NPC name, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, she did.
It's
Did
for
you
a
send that
different.
to
It's
me?
for a different game.
Ah.
For
That
the
was for
game.
me.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Ah.
For tomorrow.
I feel like this Chandra seamstress is in Luthadel as like a point of contact for the homeland, so Chandra don't have to go back to the homeland to, get news.
Their
Oh.
name is
Frantically clicking fantasy name generator.
Because it's also got to follow,
No.
well, the Conjur's name would have to follow the Conjure naming convention, but the cover name could be whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
know how those work.
I don't remember what the Conjure naming convention
I mean,
was.
we have
Hard to spell.
ZaKeer, there was Orisur. It's like
two
two names
part,
kind
yeah.
of smushed together with
Ah.
an extra capital in there. I don't know the convention beyond that.
It has to be a monosyllabic word smushed together with another monosyllabic word.
Okay. Well, whatever. Savannah, you can come up with a name. They're not coming up tonight, so we can.
I'll think about it.
Unless
But then they'd also be employed
Unless.
by one of them. Unless is their name. Unless.
unless
Place.
All right.
Wow.
Yes. Incredible. We did a
It's
session
done.
0 for this game, and Val was like, now listen, this is going to be grimdark.
This is gonna be serious.
We
As we're
said-
stealing bathrobes.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, the books got progressively sillier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just on an accelerated timeline.
Yeah.
All right. You've reconvened in the kitchens. Let's go ahead and figure out what y'all are going to be doing next.
ZaKeer is eating a bay wrap and just goes, I regret to inform everyone I'm a double agent. Oh.
We have other food.
I have a preference.
Okay.
He likes the wraps.
I like the bay wraps.
So like, double agent for who? Who showed up?
One lady Josephine. God, I can't remember the last name.
Yeah, Arakel.
Arakel. For one lady Arakel, who was my point of contact at the balcony.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
But she showed up herself.
Mm-hmm.
It seems
Which
like
surprised me quite a bit. She didn't even check if I had weapons on me. Amateur hour.
Well, she's like 18, so just like...
Have a bit of a micromanager on our hands.
Though I did convince her that I am spying on you and that any intel that I receive from other houses go to her directly.
Oh. Well, I like that.
Hmm.
We could tell her anything we wanted. Do you think she'll believe you?
I said I had a ventured interest in your family.
Right.
I don't think that's the right word.
He was laying the seeds for some future conflict with...
I got there.
There you go, mistress.
I'm getting it. Wordplay is not my strong suit.
Oh, Lady Violette, if you could get your hands on some documentation that your uncle has signed off on, I'd like to study the writing so I can forge some documents later on down the line.
Sure, I can have him sign something.
I
He usually
also-
doesn't read anything I bring him anyway.
I also apologize. I said your family was destitute.
Oh well. That is fine.
Like,
Let
relatively.
them believe what they
Luthadel
want.
standards.
It's not that bad. Let them
She-
believe what they
no,
want.
but
The more they underestimate me, the more I can get away with.
She was convinced, though, that your family had some sum of income stashed away somewhere, not just under your uncle's bragging, but from another source.
These people seem to believe an awful lot about my family, even though they don't know us.
I'll clarify in case it was unclear that
The
the rumor came from your uncle
Ah, got it.
that y'all had the ATM that they were looking for.
Yeah, he was bragging to people.
Cool.
In different places.
Just so you know, your uncle is going to be a bit of a liability.
Why this time?
Well, all of the bragging about all the ATM that you've brought in, when there is actually none to be had here.
He has been telling people that.
Yes.
Lord Ruler. Well, that is going to have to stop. Cannot be fending off robbers every week.
alternatively, it would be wise to begin seeking contracts to actually acquire some ATM, both for financial reasons and for kind of looking at mass. I believe the term would be skullduggery reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it'd probably be helpful to have on hand.
Yes.
So that's pretty pricey.
Yes. It's not like we can't afford it.
Most established houses in Luthadel do manage to get an allowance of sorts from the Lord Ruler, so perhaps it is complicated and tricky, but perhaps it is time to start seeking some legitimate business contracts with the ministry, as that is perhaps the most reliable method of acquiring ATM.
Pulls out the copy of Ledger. House Venture has a lot. Hands it over to Hadzel to look at.
We'll start.
This was
flipping
just one
through it.
page. It was a whole book. I don't know where they're getting it from. It wasn't really clear, but
No, well,
there's a lot passing through that house.
a moment, please. Kind of sets it down, gets out blank pieces of paper and something to write with, and you see him in concentration, and he just starts furiously writing before now, we'll slide across
Oh, you
the
pulling
table.
out what you like
Yeah, so
saw?
tapping
Oh,
the
cool.
copper mines to get that information. And then as like he finishes the process, he looks at it and like looks like he's reading it for the first time, but is also like, I found in one of their financial administrators' offices records of abnormal guard movements and hirings along the northern canal routes, as well as recent maintenance on a vault underneath Keep Venture.
These things are going to be stalling up ATM.
It seemed like this vault had sort of like you need a key to open it.
I do not believe I am able to ascertain that based on this work order.
Because I might have found a key and I like made a copy of it because I thought Twist would find it helpful. But maybe we could use it instead. Maybe it's that vault. It was all hidden away with Oliver, with the ledger and everything. Or it could have been anything else, but...
Are you suggesting we rob House Venture?
I mean, maybe. If we need to get our hands on some medium, right?
I like it.
Hadzel, is this the exact... Well, is this handwriting yours, or can you remember the actual script of it?
This is mine. It would take some time and effort for me to attempt to replicate the other handwriting.
Just an option.
This could be a way of acquiring ATM, though I will warn you, House Venture is likely to have many mistings on staff, and it would be impossible for them to be in their current situation without at least one Mistborn on hand. So, putting together, it would be a difficult endeavor, to say the least, to rob them in their most secure vault.
Perhaps we don't take it from the vault then. Perhaps we take it before it makes it to the keep.
Else.
We know where the routes are, yes?
And if they're getting more guards, then those are probably the routes that the ATM's traveling down, right?
Could work.
Sounds kind of hard, though.
There's going to be a lot of things we need to set up before we even attempt this.
Yes, and we do still have, well, as I reminded Mistress Violette earlier, there is the other task we set ourselves out for. This could be seen as a stepping stone on that plan, though this in and of itself would almost be a equally challenging enterprise.
Yeah.
Not to dissuade us, just to call our attention to the difficulties posed.
If we're going to make any headway, we can't just sit around eating and drinking and going to balls all the time.
That is correct.
Eventually, we're going to have to do something difficult.
That isn't to say we
I
can't.
don't know about you guys. While you were dancing, I was like sneaking around and stuff.
Yeah, but this is easy for you.
Well,
Maybe not for your anxiety, but...
yeah. Can learn some new tricks.
By the by, I think we might need to discuss my payment for servitude in this contract.
Right.
Unlike the lady who offered me a substantial payment, I only deal with ATM. But if the heist goes off without a hitch, that won't be a problem.
Seems to me it is in all of our interests to make sure this heist goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was there any sort of other like political stuff you figured out?
I had quite
Anybody
an
asked for a hand in
interesting-
marriage yet?
Not yet. I had quite an interesting conversation with Lord Oliver.
Do tell.
Well, he finds his life to be incredibly boring, hates most of the work his mother makes him do, so she takes all the credit for he and his brother's achievements, and the Lady Renée Chevalier is, I think, completely obsessed with him. If looks could kill, I would have dropped dead on the dance floor. And he does not reciprocate these feelings. Which I suppose is unfortunate for House Chevalier.
Wait, but I. Okay, I'm trying to remember who is who. Mouse heard the rumor that Renee and Urbane were courting. Is that the rumor I overheard?
Lord Hubert Urbane is attempting to court.
Oh, he was
Lady Renée
attempting.
Chevalier.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do a recap of the rumors y'all actually were able to learn.
Okay, that could be helpful.
During the ball.
My notes are terrible.
Because you got most of them. There are only a couple that you didn't get. So
okay.
House Laurent was able to secure their position within the city as they've acquired a large amount of ATM. You knew that rumor. Now you know who it came from.
Yeah.
It's your uncle.
We're gonna have to kill him, you guys.
No, don't kill him. He's my favorite. He can't die. He's
I
immortal.
brought him into this fantasy world. I will take him out.
Lord Hubert Urbane is attempting to court Lady Renée Chevalier. You learned part of a rumor, something about House Buvidas. ZaKeer got this. Their canal routes and their connection to House Alariel. Something along those lines. You didn't get the full rumor, but you know that there's a connection there. And then Lady Renee's interests for Lord Oliver Venture. And though most believe she is reaching beyond her station. And yeah, just to confirm, because again, there's a lot of stuff going on here, is that Chevalier is under or allied with House Alariel.
And Alariel's trying to get in with Venture.
And Alariel, well, I
Right.
assume if Mouse is giving that,
Oh, yeah,
has
I
given
guess.
that information to you.
Yes.
Did you tell
I'm
him?
gonna get there.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second, but yeah, you have learned that too.
Okay.
I've got like a whole web of shit and like
A
all
threat
the
map?
intrigue going. Yeah, this is nuts.
Okay.
Okay. So,
So, that could be something. But yes, the Lady Chevalier is currently not pleased with me. And has our sights set on, I think, marrying a Venture twin.
A venture, bro, if you will.
A Venture bro.
Beat me to it, motherfucker.
I was
Oh,
trying not
boy.
to go that far, but so, he's always up. And also, Lady Elikel was staring at me, several times, and I'm not sure if she wanted to kiss me or stab me, and I did not get the chance to find out. But now I'm thinking, based on what ZaKeer has said, it was probably stab. Unfortunate, she's very pretty.
Perhaps stabbing is how she shows affection.
You are all such weird creatures.
Says the one who eats bones.
Yeah.
Eat bones.
Well, I don't know. You always hide in a closet or something.
I wear them.
Says the one who hides in a closet putting on bones. There, are you happy?
Don't out me like this. Just another skeleton in the closet, as it were.
Get out of here.
I'm going to have to file you.
Can't.
That is a fileable offense.
I am under.
I mean, it sounds pretty expensive. Maybe you should.
Perhaps.
I am under Master Sasha's contract.
Yeah, so you are under my roof.
Sasha's just been eating the whole time. Did somebody say my name?
No.
Slides him over a plate of like roasted meat. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
I would like to get this out there. If there is ever a question of my allegiance, I am, yes, under Master Sasha's contract. But I am also sworn to protect his assets. As long as you continue to work with him, I will do it. I will do my best to uphold said contract.
Don't protest too much, my lady.
Alright, so you're gonna, like, pretend to be a double agent then.
That was the plan, yes?
I think most double agents don't tell you they are double agents. I don't know. I'm not the expert.
Or this is my ploy to be a triple agent, making you think I'm a double
Oh,
agent.
God. If it's going to get that complicated, I will just pay you more.
It's going to get that complicated.
It's one way to raise your rates, I guess.
Freelancers.
I'm not doing this for exposure.
Good. Can't get
Know
paid
your
for that.
worth.
I will sing the places of your work to the court.
Do not actually do that. We are a secretive bunch. Please don't.
Oh. Anything else?
Did you get a chance to talk with the obligator?
Yes, briefly. It was very strange. He spoke in a lot of metaphors and never really said much, but I think we've come to an understanding.
So he's not gonna tell then? About Hadzel?
No.
That's good.
At least if I understood him correctly. We have come to an agreement of sorts. Meeting of the minds.
If you'll forgive me, mistress, I can't imagine it was as simple as finding out you have some things in common. What is it that he expects in exchange for his silence?
Not much, actually. He simply wants to talk. He is a strange man. I think he finds himself lonely at courts. There are not many people like him.
I mean, yeah, I guess you two are both Mistborn.
It's handled.
As you say, mistress.
Don't like how Val is looking at me. Do I have to roll for being shady?
Only if people are gonna
Alright.
want to roll to refute your shadiness.
What even would that roll be?
So it would be her charm versus somebody's wits, trying to sort of read the room a bit.
I mean, so here's where I'm coming from. Is Hadzel is obviously very worried about this. I don't think he's going to call Violette out on this right in this moment, but he would like some,
Try to
clarification, reassurance.
Yeah, maybe trying to read her because Violette's being shady. I'm gonna have Violette roll charm here.
Yep.
And then Hadzel, if you want to try to get like a read on her, if you can see like whether she's being forthcoming or not, whether she might have been swayed by the handsome obligator. Let's go.
There are other options between those two. Or maybe
right,
I'm playing a dating sim and the rest of you are playing a tabletop RPG.
Wait a minute.
All right, so we'll do Violette's first. So Violette, you're doing charm.
Okay.
Are you using any allomancy?
Well, that would be super shady
Oh.
on
But-
my part.
So, like,
But
the
you
players
also-
would know, but, like...
The players would know,
Characters
but
don't know.
yeah, they would not be aware of it.
Depending
Kind
on
of
how
allomancy.
strongly she.
Yeah, depending on
Oh,
how
yeah,
it
that's
goes.
true.
Explodes.
Wait.
Like we don't just not know that we are being. our emotions-
On a successful roll, I would say
Yeah.
that like you're not going to be aware of her
Mhm.
her attempts of emotional allomancy, but yeah, on a fail, then that would definitely become apparent.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
ZaKeer has some additional things with emotional allomancy too, I think.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Okay, so you're gonna try to burn zinc to.
I'm gonna try to
reduce...
burn brass to sort of soothe away
Oh right,
the
zinc is
anxiety.
rioting, where the brass is soothing. Right.
Okay.
So
Soothe that anxiety a little bit.
What's your brass rating?
Oh.
Mine is all one metal. It's 4.
4, right? Oh no.
It's fine. So I've got
Okay.
4 of those.
So-
I've got 4 of charm.
All right. Do you have any traits that would apply?
I want to call underestimated for this
I'll allow that. Yeah.
because I don't know how capable everyone else thinks Violette is of being shady or hiding
Yeah.
things.
I'll allow that. Okay, so that puts you at 9.
Yep.
All right. So Hadzel, you're trying to gauge on this as well. So you're going to be using wits
Yep, and I would also like to burn some more zinc.
or tap zinc
Yeah, tap. Yeah.
for
and I'll-
emotional or for mental processing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay.
And then
I don't know that I have any traits to help with this.
yeah, nothing specific to what you're trying to do to read her. The closest thing I think is acquire secret knowledge, but I think that's a little too.
Yeah.
I think that goes a little too far on that. So
Yeah.
okay, so what's that put you at? 7.
7.
Okay.
I try to
So,
tell
two-
one fib and it becomes a whole thing.
This is why you
Well,
don't lie, kids.
It's a very concerning fib.
You don't lie, so you don't have to use the rules and abilities of the game that you're playing.
Oof.
I got a
Got
pair of 5s and a nudge.
Got a pair of 2s, but 2 nudges.
Okay, so that means Violette, you succeed. You got 1 nudge. You had 2. I'm trying to think of how to flavor. So that means you can use it to net positive is Hadzel on nudges. Though Violette succeeds
Mhm.
by a 5, you said? And
Versus
then
my 2.
We
you had 2, so that's a 3 differential. So I don't think that's going to be enough to give you like a substantial. So you get to reduce complications when you get nudges. I can't think of many complications that are going to come up here. What I will essentially allow here. So Violette, you soothe away the anxiety. Hadzel and the rest of you trust her words enough. Is there anything with ZaKeer that I need to know right now?
I can't be emotionally influenced unless you have a brass rating of 10.
Okay, do you
Holy crap!
want to roll separately then to see if you trust her?
ZaKeer doesn't fucking care.
Because if you don't care, then it doesn't matter either way. Like essentially, ZaKeer wouldn't even notice the influence at this point. But if you're not rolling, then
it wouldn't work.
Try to that because you're just trusting her words at this point. And if you are trying to like read her words or anything or her emotion,
I mean,
because I can't force you guys to trust me. I can just make you less anxious about doing so.
Yes. It's whether if ZaKeer's just going to be like, I'm just going to believe whatever she's saying, then you're not going to roll. You're not affected by the emotional elemency, but you're not going to gain any additional benefit.
I feel like it's a little too meta, but I think it'd be funnier to have this over Violette. That she just
I'm not scared of a
everyone.
little meta.
Okay.
So do we need to roll separately then for ZaKeer?
For between the two of
Or
them,
actually, if it just doesn't affect me, I think I just don't feel the push.
You don't feel the push. It's just whether or not if you're actually like trying to read into her words.
Yeah, separate thing.
So it would be a separate roll without her allomancy and with you doing
wits.
Doing wits.
Just wits v charm.
Okay, so Violette, your normal charm plus your unassuming, and then ZaKeer, your wits. If you have any traits that would apply here, I don't think.
I'm underestimated. I've never claimed to be unassuming.
Yeah.
Underestimated. Right.
I'll just roll.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the two of you roll one more time. We'll see if ZaKeer catches anything, and then I'll.
Nothing. I got a 1, 2, 3, 4 though. That should be like a Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
A pair of ones.
Okay, so
And
you
a
do
nudge.
succeed. You do succeed then with your pair
Okay.
of ones. So what I'll say
Snake
for
eyes.
Hadzel, ZaKeer, and I guess Mouse, if Mouse
Yeah.
also isn't, then you trust what she's saying. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're completely oblivious to anything else that happens. So there's nothing in what she's saying right now that necessarily catches you as anything else. She's just a simple country girl that is
It's handled.
telling you the truth
Bay rap.
as you eat your bait wrap. Any other information that needs to Mouse that you want to talk about? What you
Oh,
overheard?
frick, yeah. Hang on, I
We got a little bit of time left.
Yeah. Yeah, so eating some more food. While I was getting that stuff from the ledger, I heard a conversation between Lady Venture and Raoul of Valariel. He was trying to convince her that they should be allies, and she wasn't having it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sounded like he got a lot to gain out of it, and she didn't get anything. So unless he's got something better, she kind of said no. He did also say something about like Hastings might be making some sort of move.
ZaKeer drops his paper. How could I have fucking forgot? Oh wait, no, there's no swearing in the Brandon Sanderson.
Nope.
Brandon's not
By the
here.
Lord Ruler.
By the Lord Ruler, how could I have forgotten?
Listen, Brandon's not here.
That the obligator, Cedric, was talking to one
Lady Bouvidas.
Lady Bouvidas. I would never have been able to pronounce that. One Lady Bouvidas during the ball. I managed to read some of the. I'll relay what was kind of gathered. something something venture, but she was very adamant about it.
Maybe that's in connection.
Perhaps. Brandy can't stop me from saying what's in my heart. Fuck!
I would say I read one of his other stories, and there's a damn it and a bitch in them, and I was shocked. Shocked, I say, when I read that from Brandon.
Mr.
Brandon.
Sanderson.
Mr.
Sanderson.
You too. I'm just gonna book a hotel before I get there.
Oh. Oh my gosh. That's pretty good. There's a lot of political stuff going on.
Indeed.
Welcome to Luthadel, I guess. It sounds like we've maybe got a heist plan.
Yes. We might want to recruit a few more people. Because honestly, hitting a canal barge with 5 people at best doesn't seem like it'll come in our favor.
It all depends on who is guarding the barge.
Well, if it is House of Venture, then expect perhaps whatever army they have, a few haze killers.
I could take a few of them.
Mistress, have you ever fought haze killers before?
No. I don't see why that is stopping me.
They are quite specifically trained to fight Mistborn.
I'm aware of what they are, Hadzel.
I just would hate to see you. I would hate for us to lose you because you thought that you had to prove yourselves to us.
Well, perhaps if everyone wasn't questioning me in my own kitchen, I wouldn't feel this way. Lighten up. We'll put together a crew. I'm not going to take the entire barge myself. Sounds like a lot of work.
Perhaps you are your uncle's niece after all.
Perhaps. Should have you thrown out for saying that.
I have enough brass stored up. I'll survive the night on the streets.
I don't know, the way Sasha talks about them, they are completely unbearable. And he was almost dead, I believe.
Rolls eyes so hard.
Yes, definitely. I would not recommend staying on the streets, Hadzel. You should definitely stay here. It's warm and there's food.
Yeah, food's real good.
We'll make a plan. I have the utmost confidence.
I'm going to go slip into something a little bit more comfortable.
Is it bones?
Yes.
You don't have to hide them. I don't know why you're like this.
It's for the others' benefits.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see that.
Could you imagine a star
hear
servant
it.
just come in and then they see a pile of bones and then all of a sudden there's a freak out. A murder's afoot, blah, 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 blah.
If it is just a
Walking
pile
away.
of bones, the murder would have happened a long time ago. I'm just very curious, is all.
I'm not.
He will answer my questions eventually.
As he pointed out, he is not under contract to you specifically, Mistress. You may find that Khandra are very stubborn when matters of the contract come into play.
Well, I am stubborn when matters of everything are in play, and I can probably bribe him. It's just curiosity. You're also serious today.
Oh, we did just decide we are going to rob one of the 4 most great houses in Luthadel.
Yes, it's very
So
exciting.
that is now 2 great houses that we are planning to heist.
That's incredibly exciting.
It is also almost 3 a.m. and some of us are rather tired, and I would rather not tap any more bronze than I need to.
True. Shall we get some rest?
I believe that would be wise.
You are all brilliant today. And hopefully there will be another one next week.
But you will be expected to attend and dance even more than you did tonight.
I was hoping maybe they would lose a bit of interest. I'm going to have to start burning pewter if I'm going to keep dancing so much.
And as you all go to retire for the evening, I want to leave us one additional scene.
The noise.
Deep in the city, far from House Laurent, Cedric approaches a imposing, dark, shaded building, the seat of the Steel Ministry. That's way too dramatic. I don't want this. Let's go with this for a second. He enters the darkened halls, past the guards standing watchful, even this late evening, early morning hour, entering a interior room of the building around a small council table where several of the ministry officials sit and wait, along with several steel inquisitors. One of which, looming over the table like an oppressive obelisk, speaks out and says, "Your reports, they're long overdue. I wish to know the matters that we are expecting and the business that has been conducted in the recent nights." As the High Prelin begins to give his report to the Steel Ministers, and Cedric looks over the room from one corner where he slips into quietly. From his perspective, we watch as he tunes out the words and the mutterings and the musings of the ministers, and watches as a slow and steady fall of ash blankets all of those in the room. And that's where we're going to end our session for tonight.
He better not snitch.
I guess we'll find out.
Never know.
He better.
We'll find out soon enough next time on Saturday night's Mistborn. So a couple of things. I think we're going to get into a long breather again. after this, give you all some time. But I want to give you all your XP for this event first, and then what I'm going to say between, we'll go in and give your XP, and then preemptively, y'all can spend your points during the long breather to go ahead and improve your characters between now and the next session. That we don't have to spend time during the session necessarily to do that, unless there's anything we need to specifically go over. So, once again, I need to find the section of the book because I forgot to copy down this stuff. While we're figuring out all this, is there anything anyone wants to plug or promote before we end our session tonight?
Come hang out tomorrow night on twitch.tv/LBHack'emUp. Me and Alex will be there doing fun stuff for a new game.
Anything else? Okay, let me... I need to write down the page that this is on because I can never remember where it is. Somebody help me.
No, that's advancements.
Okay, improving heroes starts on page 113. I think it's around there. All right, here we go. I found it. Earning advancements. Did you complete a scheme or achieve a personal goal? I think you completed a scheme.
I think
tonight.
the ball was a scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. So one for that. Make a critical choice at a turning point in the game. I don't think so. I don't think we had any specific choices here yet. A lot of questions.
I mean, I made some choices.
I won't say that. Revealing a powerful secret. I don't think any secrets were revealed. Defeating a central villain. No. Fulfilling your character's destiny. No. Overcoming your character's tragedy. Nobody has any burdens. Achieving something that's vital for the story or the crew's survival. I definitely think that you have gained a lot of information that's vital for the story and or the crew's survival. So we'll say 2 there. Staying in character. You all did that. Selflessly improving the quality of the game for everyone. You all did that. So there'll be 4 advancements, I believe.
Okay.
Ooh. Dang, I can get 2 power improvements next time.
Yeah, so all of you can decide. We can talk about it off stream. If there's anything you want to take, we'll go in and do our we'll go in and spend your advancements. Yes?
No, sorry, I misread the bold text. I thought it was saying you can only do 1 improvement, but no, I misread it.
Okay.
Actually, no. You may only make 1 improvement to your hero during each breather. Dang.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can only make 1 improvement during this time, but we'll have more breathers, so you can hang on to the other advancements. But yeah, we'll go and call our session here for tonight. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching. Join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time for our next installment of Thursday's Children or Savannah Runs. We're going to be playing Basin, so come hang out with us for that. The rest of our schedule is below our faces if you're watching us live on Twitch. If you're watching us on YouTube some point in the future, head over our Twitch page, give us a follow while you're there, subscribe if you're feeling frisky, and join us for whatever streams we're doing now. Thank you to my lovely players for being awesome and making this a joy to run, and everyone out in the chat for engaging in all sorts of fun stuff. And we will see everyone back here in 2 weeks for our next session. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.